Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush. And today the first match we're going to be looking at here was one where I got, I guess you could say, rushed here by 3 Storm Elementals. They played a Storm Elemental and then a double Metamorph. And usually this is like game over, especially if you don't have a card you can quickly counter with. I happen to have a Hollow Knight. And, you know, this was the exact perfect draw of cards to get this accomplished. And you can see swapping lanes to get the second Storm Elemental. And then Gust of Wind, draw the Standard Bearer into the third Storm Elemental. And somehow I got rid of all 3 of them. My opponent promptly left the match because they were just like, that's unbelievable. I mean, that was a very lucky draw of cards for me. Like, anything any differently, I might have still won the match maybe, but probably not when you look at the cards that I had. This was a particular deck for kind of messing around with, so the fact I managed to get the exact cards to stop that in that exact order out of the cards I had in that deck, like, there were no other cards that practically would have worked, and I got the exact cards. I mean, that is usually, if your opponent gets 3 Storm Elementals out right off the start, you're usually done. Like, unless you have a very early game focused deck or a deck with some very strong counter cards, that's very difficult to counter. So I just thought that was so amazing I managed to get the cards to stop that. I just had to share that. But I have some other cool matches in this short video as well here. This one was just kind of a crazy match here where I ended up getting a giant Hollow Knight. But my opponent actually had a good chance to win it, but I kind of came back here. I was trying to, like, I was half messing around, but half not messing around. I really wasn't trying to go for a giant Hollow Knight. It's kind of just what developed in this match, because the Hollow Knight has proven to be it's a good card to kind of start with in Storm mode, because you can play it pretty quick, and when it gets strong, it's pretty good. So I ended up just focusing on the Hollow Knight here. And, you know, I was kind of messing around, but then all of a sudden I realized, well, you know, I could either go for the win or I could try and mess around a little bit more. And I think my opponent thought they were going to get the win at this point, and I kind of did too because they had a Meteor. So I was like, well, if they have a Meteor, they're probably going to be able to just wear my castle down. And they have Gust of Wind too, so it really seems like they should win this match. The only thing I really have going for me is that I have a Standard Bearer. So if I could draw a Standard Bearer, I might be able to finish this thing off. But then I managed to actually push through their stack, despite the fact that they had an Angel. That you can see that right there, that Hollow Knight has very little health, but they have no cards left to stop it. All they needed to do was flip that one Hollow Knight, and they probably could have won that match, but I ended up being able to take it there right at the end. And finally, I had one more funny match here after these cards, after these chests. There was one more, and this one was pretty interesting because what happened was that I went in here with a deck I was trying to mess around with, and I accidentally played a ranked match with it. I accidentally stepped into a ranked match, and as you will see, things got interesting. Things got interesting here, because really the card I had was the Dragon, and I happened to get the 2-mana Rituals. So, you know, I've got the 2-mana Rituals, I've got a Giant Growth. I'm like, okay, maybe we can do this. You know, maybe we can make things a little interesting here. And, you know, they have tons of other cards to work with. I don't really have that many different cards I can play, but I got lucky because my opponent had a deck that was very, you know, open to Metamorph being used against it. So I start to make my moves here. I'm not sure what the Enchanter play there was all about, but I was just trying to get the Enchanter involved. And So I keep focusing on the dragon and the giant growth because it's becoming apparent here they do not have Black Witch. So I'm thinking to myself, well, see, that's not so good though, but I have the right cards to be able to delay them. It just depends if I can get close enough to their castle to actually finish it off. And then I almost lost the dragon, which would have been game over. Well, actually not quite, because I had another one, but I managed to save that dragon, which was huge because it gets rid of their Valkyrie, one of the Valkyries. And then, you know, I've got 2 dragons after I do lose one of them, which sucked. At that point, I think I thought the match was probably over. But they're, like, trying to draw... They're trying to draw, Gust of Wind, probably, but they're not able to here. And they're doing damage to my castle. But, you know, look at that dragon, though. It has so little health left, but they couldn't stop it. They should have played the mana rituals and then tried to draw some sort of card right there to stop me, because I had so little health on the dragon. And yeah, if they'd gotten the dragon, it would have been game over. But that was hilarious, considering I walked in there with a total, like, troll deck that should not have won that match. And I just happened to get a great draw and be able to get somehow close enough to their castle despite the fact that they had Gust of Wind. I have no idea how I won that. Anyways, that's going to do it for this quick little video. Just some fun matches I had recently. So leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments and what other types of content I should create. Maybe subscribe if you're new to my channel. And thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.